Hey there everyone, OpenAI has released their O3 and O4 mini models. Let's have a look at them. So the biggest difference is that these models can agentically use and combine every tool within ChatGPT. This means for a single query, within their chain of thought, they can search the web, analyze the uploaded files, run analytics with Python, and do the reasoning all together. This greatly enhances their usability. Absolutely awesome. According to external experts, O3 makes 20% fewer errors when compared to O1. Talking about O4 mini, clearly it performs on par with O3 in max, but not in other fields, I guess. So that means O3 is arguably the smarter model. We'll soon look at the benchmarks to understand more about it. If you look at the pricing, the price for O4 mini high is the same as that of O3 mini high. That is $1.1 per million input tokens and $4.4 per million output tokens. But on the contrary, O3 is actually cheaper than O1. So O1 is priced at $15 per million input tokens and $60 per million output tokens. And O3 is priced at 10 million input tokens and $40 per million output tokens. So if we compare this to Gemini 2.5 Pro, it is priced at $2.5 per million input tokens and $15 per million output tokens for more than 200k context length. So that means it is nearly 4 times cheaper than O3. But how do they compare in benchmarks? Is Gemini 2.5 Pro defeated? Let's see. On GPQA Diamond benchmark, O3 scores 83.3%, O4 Mini scores 81.4%, and Gemini 2.5 Pro scores 84%. So it's clearly a lead, but not that big of a difference. Moving on to AIME 2024 benchmark for Max, if you look at without the tool use performance, O3 scores 91.6% and O4 Mini scores 93.4%, which is slightly ahead of Gemini's 92%. This means that O3 does lose to Gemini 2.5 Pro when it comes to AIME 2024. Let's talk about AIME 2025. O3 without any tools gets 88.9% and O4 Mini without any tools gets 92.7%. Gemini 2.5 Pro gets 86.7%, which is substantially low when compared to O4 Mini. When we look at humanity's last exam benchmark, which is a very hard benchmark guys, O3 scores 20.32%, O4 Mini scores 14.28% and Gemini, it scores 18.8%. So O3 clearly has a lead here. But again, just 2 to 3% differences. When it comes to MMMU, which is a college level visual problem solving benchmark, O3 scores 82.9% and O4 Mini scores 81.6%, whereas Gemini scores 81.7%. O3 again takes the lead here, but the differences are not that great. The reason could be that these benchmarks are actually saturating, but these small differences are true for humanity's last exam benchmark as well, which clearly didn't saturate. Let's look at SWE bench verified scores. So here O3 scores 69.1% and O4 Mini scores 68.1%. When we look at Gemini, it scores 63.8%. So clearly the OpenAI models beat Gemini, but the champion is Claude 3.7 Sonnet Thinking, which scores 70.3%. But O3 does come very close. In Aider Polyglot, O3 scores 81.3% and O4 Mini scores 68.9%. This is significantly higher compared to the previous best 74%. So it seems that coding has significant difference. We will surely know when we'll be doing the coding test. So if you look at this chart, we can see that O4 Mini is not that big of a jump in performance compared to O3 Mini. But when we look at O1 to O3 comparison, the performance difference is drastic, especially in the reasoning, as seen in the GPQA Diamond benchmark. So we can conclude that the performance against Gemini is comparable on an overall basis, but O3 seems to be doing good in coding compared to Gemini 2.5 Pro, and O4 seems to be the best in max, and other things seem to be comparable with only 2 to 3% differences. So these are just benchmarks. Make sure you subscribe because I will be doing a comparison between Gemini 2.5 Pro and O3, and there will also be for a first time chess match between these models. So make sure you're subscribed. With that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next one.